This is Mrs. Sutliff with your very first writing video for the year. Let's hop right in with your learning targets for today. First, by the end of this lesson, you'll understand the writing process. You will also know how to use your computer, notebook, and writing booklet, those tools that I have for you to make writing easier for you this year. And also, you'll understand that we use writing as a way to offer and support opinions, demonstrate understanding of a topic, or convey real or imagined experiences. Here is a little diagram of the writing process. The first step in the writing process is called pre-writing. That's when you are thinking about the purpose of your writing and who will be reading it. That's your audience. You'll also be brainstorming or researching depending on the kind of writing that you're doing. And you'll be thinking about the writing structure that you will use for your writing. After pre-writing comes writing. This is sometimes called drafting. This is where you'll be working in your notebook using your notes from your pre-writing to organize your writing. You'll be thinking about your voice and your word choice and your sentence fluency and just trying to get your ideas down on paper. Next, after your writing, you should have some sort of responding. This might be a teacher or a peer conference, or it could be when you reread your own writing and think about how you might want to change it, which moves you on to revising. This is where you'll clarify what you meant. You might reorganize your writing or refine it using more precise language. After revising comes editing. This is where you refine your conventions. You'll check your spelling and punctuation and capitalization. You'll make sure you're using proper grammar, and you'll think about paragraphing. After editing, sometimes, but not always, writers will publish or share their writing. In our classroom this year, we'll use bulletin boards, but we'll also publish on websites. You may have a chance to perform your writing or share it in the author's chair. And at the end of the year, all of the writing that we do is going to be collected and put in your memory book. So you'll be able to share your writing with your family at home as well. So that is the writing process as a brief overview. Just know that on any given day, you'll be doing one of these steps, and I'll be there with these videos every step of the way, helping you to make sure that you are on the right track. Let's talk about the tools you have available for you as a writer this year. The first tool I want to talk about is your notebook. Your notebook is probably the most important tool you have available to you. This is where you will do all of your pre-writing and your drafting or your writing. So the first two steps of the writing process will be in your writing notebook. That way, no matter what happens with the other steps, you'll always have this writing that you can turn in at any given time to show what you can do as a writer. You've already been using your computer to view this lesson. You'll be using your computer a lot during this whole year, but with writing especially, we'll be using it. You'll view the lessons that I make. You'll share your quick writes on Edmodo. You'll publish on Storybird, and you'll look at what other people are doing, so you'll get to see and hopefully share that way with your writing. So your computer is going to be a valuable tool for you this year as a writer. I'm also anticipating that you'll do a lot of revising with your computer, and not just publish on your computer, but actually do that revising bit of the writing process with your computer this year. Your writing booklet has a whole bunch of resources for you. Just as a brief overview, there are rubrics in the back and checklists for you so that you can get a good idea of what you should be doing with your writing. There will be examples, and on any given day, I'll ask you to open your writing booklet and go to a page to take a look at something. It might be an example, or it might be a page where you need to do some writing, or It might be an assignment, and no matter what you're doing with writing on any given day, you will probably open your writing booklet at one point or another. Let's talk about the different types of writing. This year, we will do all 3 different types of writing at some point. We will start the year with narrative writing. Narratives are writing that involves creating imaginative stories. So we'll start the year with that. After narratives, we move on to opinion writing, and that's where you give your position or your opinion about something, and then you defend that position with proof and clear details. After the opinion and writing unit, we will move on to information and explanatory writing, where you will pick a topic and teach about it. And at the end of the year, we will return to writing opinion and argumentative writing and write about our reading. So those are the 4 units. I really enjoy narrative writing, and it's our first unit. And if we work really hard this year, we might have more time to go back and try more narratives at the end of the year. So, depending on how hard you work this year, we might get a bonus 5th unit where you can write another story. Now let's move on to the active engagement part of the lesson. Most of the time during this part of the lesson, you'll log onto your computer, maybe get on Edmodo or go to Storybird and do some actual writing. Today, we're not going to do that quite yet. We need to slow down a little bit and do some other things. So instead, I have a handout for you. I should have handed it out to you and put it on your desk. So this is your chance right now to first cut out the handout along the dotted lines and then glue it into the first page of the notebook you decided to use for writing this year. And make sure that you go ahead and throw away your trash now, and then you can read the handout. And when you're finished reading the handout, you'll continue playing this video. So right now I want you to find the pause button on this video and pause it so that you can go ahead and do this little assignment that I have for you. Let's talk a little bit about the writing workshop structure and how every writing lesson will be scheduled out. We've been doing the mini lesson, which is the pre-recorded lesson that you'll find on the Blogspot. And this video is a little different in that we started the independent silent work time and the video was still going. Most of the time, by the end of the little mini lesson, you'll have a little bit of time where I ask you to do some active writing right then and there. And usually it'll be on Edmodo so that you can see what other people are doing and get a better idea for what I want you to do during writing time, so that when you go and do your independent and silent work time, you know exactly what I expect you to be doing. So that writing time that that I list right here, you've already done when you cut out and read the handout. And there will be a little bit more writing time that I'll have you do where you actually write about what you've learned today. So I'll get you your assignment in just a second. But that's the second part of the 3 parts to every workshop. And the last part is where we meet together as a class and we share. Or you might meet with a partner and share. And that is a little chunk of time too. So as you can see here, I'll try and show you. Most of our 1 hour that we'll spend writing every day is with that independent writing time, where you are working independently, and this big chunk of time right there, that blue section, is when I'm doing my individual conferences. So I'll be meeting with students, and I will need you to be independent and silently working, like you read in the handout. It's really important that we honor everybody's time and that you can work independently so that I can meet with all of you on our individual conference schedule. Right, now it's time for me to see what you can do. Okay, so I would like you to open your writing notebook to the very next page after that handout you just glued in, and pick at least one of the learning targets for today's lesson. I would like you to write to show what you learned from watching this video. So, for example, our first learning target was, I understand the writing process. So if that's the learning target you want to write about, you'll just be writing a little bit to tell me, well, what is the writing process? What are some of the steps that you remember? Can you tell me what you would be doing in any of those steps? Write about it. Show me that you learned something. Oh, and don't be afraid to go back and rewatch the video if you need to be reminded of something. All right, let's see what you can do. All right, and as always, thank you for your attention. Now let's hop to it.